Welcome back to another Franchise Wars reaction, recap, and review of Titans. This week, together. Because literally, the Titans, for the first time in the show, are actually all four of them together. So, this episode starts off featuring our main bad guy, the creepy doctor guy from earlier, who is still making omelets, though now he's being super creepy by seeing there's a bloody egg with like a small bird fetus, and he's going to whip it into an omelet because he's evil! But then we luckily cut away to the actual Titans themselves.
I still can't believe you traded in the Porsche for a minivan. This we can all fit in.
I like the van. We're not actually staying here, are we? You know, there's probably a nicer place down the road.
We're being hunted by sociopaths. Nicer places draw attention.
Yeah, well, they also make it easier to sleep.
One road in, same road out. Only one point of access we have to watch. And also, it's quiet. Trouble comes our way, we should hear it first. Who said anything about sleeping?
Daddy Grayson. So Dick, being a student of the Batman, apparently still having access to Bruce Wayne's bank accounts, goes ahead and buys 4 rooms at this hotel. He also gets hit on by the hotel owner, and we'll come back to that for some laughs later on. He then also says that everybody should kind of get together and figure out their strengths and weaknesses and figure out how to fight together. So we get a little scene where they get to show off their skills. Starfire, for instance, just shows that she's kind of badass and can shoot laser beams out of her hand. The guys are like, whoa. She actually can shoot fire. Oh, missed.
Suppose I could use a bit of practice.
This boy then shows that he can, of course, transform into a tiger and suffers from performance anxiety.
Your turn. Okay, just, give me a second. Anytime today would be good. It's a little weird with you guys watching and all. The first time I transformed, I tore through my clothes and, this is my favorite jacket. Hold on. You have to be naked to... Yeah, but it'll be worth it. I promise.
Heard that before.
Just, turn around.
If this wasn't a drill, we'd all be dead by now.
And apparently, as an added bonus, he can also throw in streaking as a hobby.
I forgot.
They insist on having Raven show off her powers, and as expected, they're both, awe-inspiring and utterly freaky, and also apparently prone to backfiring. There you go. Not gonna lie, the whole evil vomit of power is kind of a little gross.
Okay, bring it back in. Rachel? Rachel!
Meanwhile, evil doctor guy is busy making a new father for the nuclear family, a process that apparently mostly just involves screaming. One title intro later, our new father's back with a nuclear family and their sickeningly psycho group.
I'm coming home, I've done my time. Now I've got to know what is and isn't mine.
Oh, that's pretty dark.
You ready to give him a nice warm welcome?
Guess so. Danny has two moms. Why can't we?
Enough.
Honey, I'm home. Hi, Troops.
Hi, Dad.
What do you say we do it right this time?
We then cut to the hotel, where Raven and Beast Boy are having some fun talking about their different powers, with Beast Boy having her close her eyes and actually kind of visualize what it's like for him to transform into a tiger. In a pretty nice scene that showcases Ryan Potter's actual chops.
Feel it? You feel totally free. All that strength, you want to run, you want to jump, you want to break shit, just... You feel like you can do anything. And you want to roar. Not because you're angry, but because you just want to let it all out. So roar. That's what it's like.
Starfire, meanwhile, is busily trying to figure out what's up with Dick Grayson, which, after a little bit of talking doesn't really do it, she tries to go with more chemical methods.
Aren't you poison?
I don't remember. Any suggestions?
Well, folks who want to party usually buy beer. Folks who want to think, they buy whiskey. You kind of got to line it up with your intended activity.
Oh boy.
Tequila.
But this is Dick Grayson we're talking about, and his game is legendary. And it's not long before the hilarious words, sensual pop music, shows up in the subtitles. Sensual pop music, right? Oh boy.
I've been cleaning up my message. I've been paying my debt.
Did not think Dick Grayson learned this time. No recording.
What you need is what you get. I need your fingerprint. I need your fingerprint.
Starfire leaves after their little rendezvous, and we get another knock on the door. It's kind of mysterious. We open up to see it's the hotel manager, because she also wants Dick Grayson. See, told you to come back for a joke. No. It's the second knock that actually shows that the nuclear family is here and get ready to kick people's butts. Oh, boy. That's not good. Dick grabs that fingerprint-encoded suitcase that he has and gets thrown out the window, and everybody starts fighting back his nuclear family, does a decent job, but ends up all in the parking lot, at which point, of course, Dick Grayson has opened up the suitcase, so... Oh! Nightwing. There we go. Get over here!
You should toys away when you're finished with them.
Did you just stab him with a bow staff? Oh. After everybody gets used to the idea that Dick Grayson is in fact Robin, we have a brief little reconnoiter where they try to interrogate information out of the nuclear family. This gets them nowhere. Dick even notes that they're programmed, so it's just not going to work. So he just does some old-fashioned detective work, goes to their car, finds their phone, finds out where the doctor is, and goes to find the doctor. Who then turns out that he's just a cog in the machine, and he's cleaning up loose ends.
Oh, it's an explosive? There's something that's clearly armed.
I think we got in trouble.
Nap time, kids. Oh, shit. Dick's gonna think I did it.
Dick confronts the doctor, and though we don't get anything concrete about who he's actually working for, we do find out the doctor apparently has very good timing for figuring out how long it's going to take the henchman to show up and start killing him and trying to kill Dick.
Answers. 5, 4, 3. Okay, you're coming with me. 1.
Without his Robin gear, Dick's in trouble. But fortunately for him, someone else is there to pick up the slack.
There we go. Jason Todd.
Wow. Dick Grayson in the flesh. Nice to meet you, bro. I'm the new Robin.
That's right, Jason Todd, the second Robin and future Red Hood, has arrived in the show, making this only really the second major show to actually have him even suggested that he's there, because Young Justice did the same thing. Now, overall, this is still a pretty good episode, especially when the team is together. We're seeing some team chemistry work out there. I really like the way that Raven and Beast Boy get along, and I like the way that Raven gets along with Starfire as well. We don't see much of how Starfire gets along with Beast Boy, but we do get a little bit of raconteur and hilarious jokes about Beast Boy being naked to kind of make me think, okay, good. Humor's coming from both of them. That's excellent. I will say I've got one issue with Dick Grayson and Starfire already, bumping uglies and doing the horizontal mambo and all that stuff. Making the beast with two backs. Sex. And that's that skipping ahead so quickly without spending a lot of time building up the relationship does make it feel very shallow. And that is kind of a downside trying to play Dick Grayson as being more of a lady killer than being more of a guy who just happens to fall in love with some very attractive women more than once. I mean, no one ever really writes stories about the great romances of James Bond. It just doesn't work out because they aren't really romances, they're just, male fantasies. There is something like that going on here, and I'm hopeful that they end up doing a little bit more with him and Starfire. The idea of them having an instant attraction makes a lot of sense, but moving ahead so quickly feels like a bad move to me. Still, this is pretty good, and I'm very excited to see where Jason Todd comes into the story.